Hey, what up, everybody? It's your boy Cheeseman again, and so today it happened, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. ESPN First Take. Skip Bayless finally admitted that the Spurs are a joke. Sorry about that. But he finally admitted it. I mean, he finally is getting off the Spurs bandwagon. And to quote the brilliant mind LeBron James, about damn time. I mean, I've been saying this for about like 2 years now that the Spurs are the biggest joke in sports. Spurs fans get mad when I say that, but they've always had the best record in the NBA, and they always fold up in the playoffs. I mean, and I don't care. People always say it's the refs, it's the injuries, but Spurs to me, they're just not. One, they're not an interesting team, and two, they're not a team like they haven't won since 2007, and that says a lot. And even when they do win, I mean, all their finals appearances are like the lowest rated finals of like in the history. Like the 2007 final was the lowest final in NBA history. I mean, they haven't really beaten any good teams in the finals. They've beaten like the Nets. They beat the Pistons and the Knicks, but I mean, there was a lot of injuries with those teams too that kind of caused the Spurs to win, which nobody talks about. But I don't know. I just think the Spurs are not really a good team. But apparently, Skip Bayless is finally off the bandwagon, and of course, it was because he wrote an article about it, and everything's always about Skip. Like it was about how they messed up his article. Like they should have won last night because my article was so amazing, and I was gonna push Sin, but they blew it. But apparently, they played the Suns last night, who are one of the worst teams in the NBA. And they were up by, Spurs were up by, a lot. I can't remember exactly how many points they were up by, but it was, a whole bunch. And then Jermaine O'Neal, who I didn't even know was in the league. I thought he'd been retired, but I don't know. I guess he's still playing. But, I mean, he turned into, Michael Jordan or something. He was just balling in the fourth quarter. And Spurs didn't do anything. They just let the Suns get back in the game, and then it went into overtime. And then in overtime, the Golden guys, completely folded in overtime. The Suns went on a 10-0 run. The Spurs did not score 1 point in overtime. I don't think that's ever, I don't think any team has ever folded that bad in overtime. But the Spurs end up winning that game, and I know, I just think it's a sign, man, that the Spurs, they're not what they used to be. They're getting old. They're just an old team, man. They're not what they used to be, and they play no defense, and I don't think they're gonna win it this year. They'll probably make it to the second round, but I'm shocked that Skip Bayless is off the Spurs bandwagon. I mean, he's the biggest Spurs DR, which is Dick Writer, in the history of Spursdom. I mean, he loves the Spurs. He's their biggest fan. And, I mean, him getting off of it it just proves that the Spurs are done. I mean, without Skip Bayless being on the Spurs bandwagon, who's going to talk about the Spurs? Nobody talks about the Spurs. But, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Do you like the Spurs? Do you like Skip Bayless? What do you think about him getting off the Spurs bandwagon? Do you think that he's just overreacting? Is he trying to not curse them because every time he says the Spurs are good, they always lose? So is he trying to do a different approach? He's doing some kind of weird reverse psychology, which he kind of does from time to time. But tell me what you guys think. Subscribe to my channel, like my video.